And now, podcasting from the sun-scorched desert Southwest, weighing in at a combined total of 340 pounds, Brad Winchester, Tyler McDowell-Blanken, are Gimmick Infringement.
Welcome, everybody, to the Gimmick Infringement Podcast. I am Brad Winchester, and with me is my tag team partner, Tyler McDowell-Blanken. Tyler, it's late as we record this. Very late. In fact, it's tomorrow already. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I'm so happy that we had our usual warm-up. I think we went about, a solid 60 minutes? Just shooting the breeze, talking about our weeks and how challenging they were, but somehow you and I made it to this point where we're recording another episode. I am so happy to see you. I think I'll be seeing you soon as well. You dropped some news on me that you'll be making your way up here. So excited to see you now. So excited that we are both near the end of another school year, and I want to hear how you're doing.
I'm doing great. Like you said, I'll be up there next month for a pretty big deal thing for my program that I'm teaching, my mental and social health technician program, working on some state level stuff. Really honored to be a part of that and super happy I was selected. It's going to be a bit of a grind that week because it's the end of the semester. It's graduation week, my birthday that week, lots of stuff going on right around the same time. And then summer. Tyler, I'm so excited for this. I can't wait for summer. This is like the first year where I'm like, I got to do nothing. Nothing has to happen. What has to happen is zero. Cannot wait for it. Can't wait to spend more time with the family. Can't wait for doing nothing.
I think this is where we insert a "you deserve it" clap, 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 clap.
I don't know.
Do we have that?
No.
Our sounding department. Do we have that as an option?
Let me check real quick.
Can we call them?
No, we're out.
Okay. Well, you deserve it. Summer is going to be glorious. It's going to be hot. It's going to be glorious, and hopefully full of rest and Freya time for you.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, and hopefully full of pool time and all kinds of stuff.
Let's go.
Pool. Let's dive into the WWE questions. Hit me with your first one, Tyler.
Ooh, I like it. Let's get to it.
And now, it's time to talk WWE.
So I'm going to be pretty direct with this one. Obviously, we could talk about a lot from the week. I was really intrigued with how Raw opened. The Rhea Ripley versus Solo face-off that happened, that little nugget. I don't know if that's leading to nothing or eventually we get Rhea versus Solo in some capacity. Or I thought that was really neat. Paul Heyman did his thing. Trish had a really interesting promo. I'm really digging heel Trish Stratus. We saw on SmackDown Braun Strowman throw Ricochet, not into the Viking Raiders, but just throw him on the mat. But it seemed like they were having a fun time with that on social media. Even Ricochet in particular was having a good time, and obviously he wasn't hurt or anything. So Samantha Irvin continues to do her thing. I mean, there were some really high moments here, but again, in terms of being direct, here is my question. The annual WWE draft is this week, Brad. I would like you to give us one man and one woman who you believe will benefit most from this. Some contenders. Chad Gable, maybe an LA Knight, Montez Ford, Roxanne Perez. What say you?
Roxanne Perez is an interesting one. If she's staying up on main roster, going to main roster. That's a really tough question. I don't know. I would have said Braun would have made sense now, but I don't think so. I kind of like LA Knight over on SmackDown. I dig him over there. I think all of the New Day needs to go to Monday night. I think that might be good, especially if the plan is to eventually bring back Big E and Kofi around the same time if they're healed up. That sounded like that might be a thing. I can't remember who reported that, but that sounded like something that would work really well. As far as the women's side goes, I man, there's a lot of talent right now. I don't know what Lacey Evans or Dana Brooke are even doing, and frankly, on the Lacey Evans front, I'm good, but Dana Brooke, I don't know. She could, in terms of benefiting, probably a brand switch would be a benefit. I think Piper Niven would be good to switch it up because she's not doing anything right now. It feels like. I really like Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville in this tag team. That's finally a tag team that makes sense. That was kind of hodgepodged, but it doesn't feel that way. And if they're the complaint department, like this is amazing. I love this so much.
Yeah, we saw them on SmackDown too.
Yeah, versus Liv and Raquel, who
Mhm.
it's fine for now, but they need
they're
to break up.
they're single stars.
Yeah, and they're doing heel stuff to win. So I'm not. I know commentary was like, well, that's what they did, and they're just doing it back. But I don't like that. It makes me not like them. I just want to see him beat. Like Raquel does not need to cheat. She's 4 times the size of everybody. Like, what are we doing? So
yeah, back muscles be crazy.
Yeah. So you got me stumped, man. I don't know. I'll go Roxanne Perez because you mentioned her, and that's my final answer.
That's it. I'm wondering how we're gonna put that in the notes. Is that like it wasn't like a AGH spell? Like
I
that
think
wasn't that sound.
asterisk inaudible.
Okay.
Asterisk.
That's
Yep.
yeah. That'll work.
Yeah.
Roxanne is a great choice by you. I'm always shocked at how small the women's division is in WWE. Like
Yeah.
you and I can spend so much time talking about the men's roster because it often feels just pretty vast. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but maybe part of it is the booking of the WWE women's division over the last few years where you had the 4 horsewomen. And then I think everyone just kind of felt subpar after that. Of course, you have a Ronda Rousey, you have an Asuka. Bianca's totally ascended. But I think there are so many women in that next tier who just seem like they're several tiers below. But as you point out, we have Liv, we have Raquel, we have some names that are starting to get some shine. Unfortunately, Roxanne is the only name I'm coming up with. And we don't know for sure if she's going to be a part of this.
I take it back.
To me, all signs point to this being her moment to move to Raw or SmackDown. I don't think she's going to be, champion the week she debuts, but clearly the company is high on her. She has the in-ring chops, probably needs to work on the character. But I think the draft on the women's side, it's really going to be her moment to shine. In terms of the men, I mean, you know me, Brad. I've incorrectly predicted the breakup of the Street Profits for over a year now. Something tells me this could be the moment where
Like a Dudley Boy split.
Yeah, like Tez and Dawkins finally part ways. I say that because they're both blossoming as singles wrestlers. I think they're just standout. So I'm going to go Montez Ford. I'm going to go Roxanne Perez. Something tells me that LA Knight could be moving over to Mondays. And I would love that if he gets consistently booked to actually win matches.
Yeah, then there's more time, so he won't get squeezed out. And
Precisely.
They can have him doing a lot over there. I just want to see that guy. The fact that he wasn't there before this, given he had to go to the performance center for a while when he just didn't need to. Like he already knew how to do TV and he could have been up there the entire time. That bothers me quite a bit.
I thought you were going to say because he already knew how to do a DDT.
Oh, there's that too.
He does know how to do that too. He's a good wrestler.
I think I changed my mind on Roxanne. I'd like to see Asuka move. Especially if Rhea's staying put and they don't do an awkward belt swap, then I would like to see Asuka over on SmackDown. I was even thinking like maybe Shinsuke could mix it up, but he just got back, so I think everything is new again.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I wonder if Bailey's moving over. Dakota lost this week, and I just remember them panning to Bailey and Io.
Bailey Martinez on Twitter.
Bailey Martinez. Yes, I know you saw that. I like how they panned to Bailey and Io, and they look pretty disappointed in Dakota after she ate a pretty gnarly KOD. I wonder if maybe there were some seeds planted that Obviously, Io's probably staying given her number one contender status,
Yeah.
but maybe Bailey. Maybe that is the last time we see Damage Control as we know it.
Could be.
Yeah,
Who knows, man? I have no idea.
we'll see.
Well, speaking of championships, Roman Reigns has been absent for a while. He's been gone, been taking a little break ski. He's still inarguably the biggest star in the company because he's getting pops, even if the Usos go out to do a promo and mention his name. Cody Rhodes delivered a heck of a promo this week, set up the Brock match. But is his star as bright as it was at Mania? And do you think it could be brighter in the future?
I love this question. Cody should have won at WrestleMania. I believe that now more than ever. I was watching his entrance earlier today, and the hoodie's really cool. It's one of those things where the hoodie looks cool on him, but I feel like if I ordered that and tried to rock it, Brad, I wouldn't look as cool as Cody. It has the undesirable, undeniable, and the logo just still kind of screams MAGA to me.
Yeah, it's very political.
Like I don't.
Yeah.
Right. Like
it's like the thin blue line Punisher logo.
Yeah.
Because people that have those have never read the Punisher.
Yeah, exactly. I was on my way to campus actually this past week in Tempe, and there's an Arizona firearms store, which I have no interest in ever stepping foot in. But I thought, like, man, if they could easily just put Cody's logo on there, and it would make so much sense instead of the Arizona flag primary colors. To answer your question though, no, even though he got a great pop this past week, I don't think his star is as bright. Can it be recovered? I think so. I think it's going to take time. If the plan is, I'm still of the belief that Cody is going to be the guy to beat Roman. So let's say that happens at, I mean, what are the betting odds, Brad? We'll get to betting soon, but what are the betting odds? SummerSlam? Are we going a full calendar year and it's next WrestleMania where Roman could drop it to Cody? I'm going to say yes, he can recover, but I don't say that with as much optimism as I would like. The moment was there for Cody to win at Mania, and since then I haven't been able to let go of that. I don't think his star is as bright. I just think that was the absolute wrong booking move. And I think ratings, I know ratings aren't everything, but I think ratings have also shown that it would have been better to have Cody as champ.
Yeah.
Right? Storylines for the guy.
Yeah,
he finished that part of his story, but there could be more. If you gave us Brock versus Cody for the championship at Backlash, I think that's better than just, okay, we have these two guys who have name recognition, but Roman's beat both of these chumps. So the winner is just going to fight Roman at SummerSlam to then probably lose to him again?
Yeah.
And God forbid if Brock beats Cody in Puerto Rico, I would I don't know what I would do. I would be beside myself. Star isn't as bright.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes for now, but I could absolutely see a world where his momentum never gets as high as it was from January to April of this year. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I have another question for you here, a follow-up. So let's say that Cody won. We're still talking about this Cody loss because it was just dumb, in my opinion. But we're still talking about it. Would we be talking about that moment right now if he would have won? Would we still be, I should say?
I think so. I do.
I don't know. I don't know.
You're not as okay.
No, because
it would have been that moment, and then
not this far out. Like I think it would have it would have been there for a while, several weeks at least. And then it would have lived in infamy forever. It would have been a top WrestleMania moment of all time if he wins at Mania this year. I don't think it'll be. I don't know what you could possibly do to change it so that it would be different next year that they didn't already do with the Bloodline, other than make it, if Bloodline comes out, disqualification, make it no holds barred. I don't know. If it's no holds barred, what are they gonna do? So how do you make it different? How do you make it exciting? How do you make it that moment without making it like a triple threat match or something. And then that's not going to be the same. It almost has to be him one-on-one. It has to be. And he has to win clean, in my opinion. Like at that point, if he's working heel and he cheats to win, it's going to be so bad. That I think would ruin the entire thing. It might be more interesting storytelling wise, but I think it would ruin the moment entirely. And I don't know that he would ever recover from that in WWE. So I don't, like you said, write stories for him, figure it out. I think he should have won, but I don't know that we would be talking about it for this long, at least this intensely. I don't, because he would be presumably defending next week, right? Not doing a Brock match, or maybe a Brock match defending against Brock, but
what are the stakes?
We'd be on to another program already. So I don't think people would be talking about it. I think people will be talking about what's coming. Right now we're going, well, what's coming is stupid because of what happened. So they're interlinked. I don't know that we would have more conversations about Cody Rhodes if Cody Rhodes hadn't lost. I think him losing is why we're still talking about it, but we'll never know. We'll never know.
It's so true. Well, even if we look at the other side of this equation, I know I have his action figure behind me here. If we think about Roman Reigns, so obviously he's gone, right? The Usos, Solo, Paul Heyman have been holding it down, and they're still, opening and closing weekly programming for WWE. Yeah, they're doing their thing, and Solo's becoming a really, really big deal. For me, though, the Roman character would be so much more interesting right now if he lost everything at WrestleMania. And then where do we go from here? Or, just like now, he would probably be off TV, but just the speculation and the chatter of where's Roman? How is he? How is this impacting the rest of the bloodline? There's so much rich content there. Who is Roman without the belts?
Yeah.
And does his family still fall in line if he is no longer at the top of WWE? I want to invest in that story just as much, if not more, than seeing Cody reach the mountaintop. And I know we're going to get it eventually. Roman can't be champion forever, but I think the Roman being just dominant has overstayed its welcome. And trust me, I'm a mark. When the music plays, when the entrance happens, I'm in Glendale doing the one in the air, just like everybody else. But my better senses end up ultimately getting a hold of me. And I just think, man, the story is going to be so rich when he drops those. And we just haven't seen Roman without gold in what seems like an eternity. I want to see that.
Yeah. Well, me too. Right now, it's giving me early NWO Hogan vibes where he had
not a good
gold.
thing.
No, he had gold. Well, the NWO early was good, but the storytelling was like the same thing every week. It was the lackeys go out. You got the outsiders, the NWO, they go out and do their thing. And then they speak on behalf of Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan's doing live stuff from his Thunder set or whatever he's doing. And I just remember doing the live via satellite and a lot of the pre-recorded things, and instead of actually being there. And it's kind of what Roman Reigns is feeling like right now. It's a lot of the same story over and over and over again. It's here comes a challenger, up, interference. Here comes a challenger, up, interference. It's old school wrestling. So I get that part. It's old school wrestling. Jim Cornette probably is like, this is how you build heat, and this is how you do this. And he's probably right. It is old school wrestling, and it is a way to build heat. But it's also making me turn off the TV because it's just so repetitive that there's no element of what if anymore. It's not even like I think it's the business changed so much that I want to be surprised now, which I think is hard to do, especially from a storytelling standpoint. They deserve writing awards for the rest of time for what they did with Sammy. Like that was the story of the decade, I think. And Cody Rhodes was secondary. They managed to build that story, the Cody Rhodes winning the belt story up. And part of it was the Sammy momentum pushing Cody Rhodes. Cody was supposed to be the savior for Sammy, who lost in Montreal, and then take it from Roman to end it for Sammy, for us. He was supposed to represent everybody, right? And then they just urinated on it and threw it in a dumpster, and then Brock killed it. Like, just dreadful.
No, yeah, it's absolutely dreadful. We have this moment. There's so much potential here. I think in a Cody championship run, we get the Winged Eagle belt. It could just be great. And you and I are totally on the same page about it being time, perhaps, for Roman's character to evolve. He would be presumably so alone without those belts. But
Yeah.
Brad, speaking of being alone, are you tired of placing bets alone and not having anyone to talk to about your predictions? Do you want to connect with other sports bettors and share your winning strategies? Hopefully, the answer is yes. Look no further than Sharps, the social network for sports bettors. With Sharps, you can connect with friends, see what they're betting on, and even interact with their bets. The iOS app connects to all major sports books and daily fantasy platforms like DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, Prize Picks, and Underdog. Here's the best part. If you download Sharps now and use the promo code WIND338, you'll receive access to the community to start showing off your betting chops and an opportunity to compare your bets with us. So, what are you waiting for? Download Sharps today, use our promo code WIND338, and start connecting with other sports bettors. Don't forget to share your winning strategies and interact with other users' bets. Join the social network for sports bettors and take your betting game to the next level.
That was next level, my friend. I am nervous. I don't typically I like playing free to play pools because they're free. I love getting in on that. We've done picks on here for AEW, who's going to bleed first and all of those things. I love doing that stuff. Tyler, I put my money where my mouth is. I downloaded Sharps. I made a bet on DraftKings. Our picks last week are up. You can find me over on Sharps and you can see our picks. You could follow. You could back it if you believe in the bet. I tried to pick winners for some of the games in the series. We talked Kings Warriors. We talked Lakers Grizzlies. We talked Knicks Cavs, which feels a little bit more promising now after yesterday or the day before, whatever day it was.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Garden was rocking. My mother
Yes.
was extremely happy. I don't recall seeing Madison Square. May have to defer to our friend, good friend of the show and former guest Mike Stepp on this one. I
Yeah.
don't recall seeing the Garden rocking that much. It was looked like it was electric.
I maybe Linsanity.
Maybe Linsanity.
Probably the
I
last
love
time,
that.
right?
Great shout.
Yeah. And then Suns Clippers. I know, Tyler, that you missed your Phoenix Suns game today, and I'm in mourning for you.
We'll talk about it. Yeah,
That's
don't
more
worry.
later in the pod. Yes.
It's on the docket, my man. You know it is. I can't
Yeah,
believe I missed
it's
that game. Ridiculous. They're looking good though.
so far.
Yeah.
All my picks, feeling good about them. $10 bet will net $55 or so. So hoping for the dub here. Again, that's Wind338 on Sharps. Download it if you have an iPhone. I know they're working on an app for Android in the future, but right now it's iPhone only. Again, that's Wind338. Tyler, it's time to move on. We are now in AEW territory.
And now, it's time to talk AEW.
I love it. Let's go. So AEW was quite polarizing this week. It seems like a pretty steady trend, Brad, where we have a few really good weeks, kind of universally praised good weeks for AEW. And then there's just an off week where the product is just, we have a lot of questions. So if I had to choose one question for you, here is what I landed on. Dynamite once again opened with the four pillars: Jungle Jack Perry, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, and MJF are main eventing May's Double or Nothing pay-per-view. But in my opinion, this promo was missing something. I don't recall a crowd being as quiet during the opening of a Dynamite as Pittsburgh was for this. If you're Tony Khan, how do you modify what we've been seeing to increase interest in this build?
Well, I think easy fix is the best fix 90% of the time. Video packages, no more in-ring promos. Sammy's the only one that I've really enjoyed on the mic.
Wow,
Out of
that might
these
be a
three,
hot take. I haven't heard that from very many people.
he's the best promo out of the three. Like, I don't think it's close.
Really?
Maybe Darby after that.
Yeah, I think Darby's been getting a lot of praise.
Darby's been doing great. Don't get me wrong, but I think
Mhm.
Sammy's been consistent for a very long time. It's not fair to say Darby hasn't been. He hasn't been asked to, so he's been purposely quiet. I'd rather see a Darby video. I'd rather see like the one that he did where he had like the max with the X's on the eyes for his match before. Do that stuff again, because let him be creative. Let him do that. I like the Jack Perry stuff, and he's getting better on the mic. And it's not that I don't want to see it or anything. It's just like, it was just, the promos weren't good. They were like, but you're so selfish. And the crowd was like, ooh, I don't know.
No, you're not exaggerating. It was rough.
It was
Dynamite usually starts, pun intended, with the bang, right? The crowd's into it, and Pittsburgh got up for later moments, so it wasn't just Pittsburgh. I think
they were up for the entrances.
Yeah,
It's just as soon as they
But
started,
then they got
talking,
in the
there was no
ring,
one.
and
Yeah,
we
Yeah, it was bad.
were ready. We were ready to move on. This is going to be the main event of one of your biggest shows of the year.
And Sammy was on the show a lot, like a lot. Could not believe how much.
That all access tie-in.
But not that I'm complaining. I love watching him work.
Yeah,
It's
legit.
He came out, did the promo stuff, was out there for the whole first segment, then the backstage stuff with MJF paying him off, and then the match at the end. It's just, he was just out there for a long time. And all I can think is like, where's Andrade? Where is he's probably still healing up? Where's Miro? No idea what's going on there. Where are these other people that should be challenging for this title? Meanwhile, you got Powerhouse Hobbs title being dropped after having it for a day. It feels like
that was almost my question.
Yeah, it's
I gotta get your thoughts on that before we end the episode.
Yeah, I'm okay with him losing the title. It's just, I don't love that he's losing it to Wardlow. Not that Wardlow should be not winning titles. Why have him drop it in the first place?
6-week title reign.
Yeah,
I think you and I were booking it through like Wembley, right? Like we didn't want him to drop for a long time. He just looked dominant. I mean, he was doing incredible work with that belt, or had the potential to really be, I think, one of the best TNT champs we've seen.
I think as an in-ring worker, I think Wardlow is ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
But as a brutalizer and like a monster, the Monstar thing is legit. I love that he doesn't have this giant moveset. He just beats the shit out of people.
Yeah.
And
But he also
awesome.
He also has some magic in his bag. Do you remember
Yes,
that?
He does. Yes,
it was
he
one
does.
of I think it may have been the last time he tagged with Ricky Starks, his team Taz, and I think he hit a frog splash.
Yeah.
Powerhouse did off the top.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh my God, he traveled like 3/4 of the rig. It was amazing.
They're not making him do like long technical matches or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think Wardlow's just been wrestling for a longer period of time, so he probably knows how to do a few more things than him.
Wardlow's very good.
But he's also not asked to do a lot in there too, because they're both huge guys, so they're working huge. And I loved this match. I thought this match was a ton of fun because they were just hossing each other. And then Arn got involved. He pulled the gun out. Arn pulled out the gun.
Did you pop for that?
Oh, huge pop. And then DDT'd QT. QT's head still going through the canvas. Great DDT from Arn too.
I thought we were going to get a spine buster. I was actually
surprised.
We
were too. I think I don't know if he could get him up and plant him and get out. Doing the DDT allowed him to be able to roll off and land on his feet, not have to get himself up. That was my guess there, because I know he's got like probably bad everything from wrestling forever.
I was the enforcer too. Right? Yeah, he's like, he had a very specific role.
Yes, he did.
He was to enforce,
and he's still doing it. Like he's doing it for Wardlow.
He is. Did you like the tracksuit? The all white.
I loved the tracksuit. I thought for some reason it worked for him, and it made it different too. It made it different than the blue one he was wearing, the blue and red, the Nightmare Family.
Yeah, he didn't have the coach's laminated gimmick, right?
Yeah, he had the clipboard too. Yeah, on occasion. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, he switched up the look. I'm intrigued to see what they do with him. for me, I know we've kind of shifted the question here, so I'll just say this. For me, I started to become a bit dubious, dare I say, when Powerhouse instantly joined QTV. That was troubling to me. Not that QT Marshall isn't very skilled at what he does, but I was just always of the belief, and still am, that Hobbs doesn't need that.
Yeah,
We have the Book of
I agree.
Hobbs. There's just potential with him being a lone wolf. I don't get why he aligned with AEW TMZ. I think that should have been a
Yeah,
warning sign to us that
yeah.
this was not going to be a long reign.
Hobbs should, if anything, Hobbs should be running his own faction. People should be working for Hobbs, not
Yeah,
him partnering with QTV.
no,
I That entrance alone should signal you should be afraid, but I also don't know that that entrance fits with something like the Book of Hobbs. It still feels like things are cooking there, like aligning, and they don't quite all make sense yet. But my God, when they all start clicking,
yeah,
and maybe they have plans for him to be in the world title picture. I don't know, because he's got an incredible look. He's one of one. I I wanted to see him have a longer run with this, but I'm okay if that sets him up for something else. Maybe he's the one to beat Hook.
wow.
Maybe it comes back to I was in Team Taz before you. That belt deserves to be mine. I'm the only
That's
reason Ricky could keep it. Like,
That's
make it a
pretty
thing.
wild that those three guys were Team Taz. Now looking at them and what we know of them, like yeah, we really had Starks, Hobbs, and Hook,
And Brian Cage.
and Brian Cage. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah, because they were
that's a
because
strong team.
before Hook was out there, it was Ricky, Brian Cage, Taz, and Powerhouse Hobbs
Yeah,
that were beating up Arn and Cody when the lights went out and Sting debuted.
your favorite moment in AEW
Yes, God, I
history.
love that. It's so good. Um, to me, it was better than Punk because I had no idea it was coming.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's the only reason I put it up there, and nostalgia. And the first time we got to hear it's Sting from Shivani in
it was
20
special.
whatever years. Yeah, now we've heard it a couple thousand times, but I still love it. I still pop for it every time. To your question, it's got to be a fatal four way. It's the only way you're going to repair this. Do video packages and go, nope, we're not doing this. It's everybody versus everybody. And then the Sammy MJF stuff can play out like I'm going to help you, you're going to help me. And then either MJF screws over Sammy or vice versa. And maybe that's the reason that Sammy splits from Yaz, but we'll see. I don't know what'll happen with that either.
Mhm.
I really want the Jericho Appreciation Society to come crumbling down after Adam Cole beats him. I think that would make a ton of sense if Adam Cole beats him and then gives him another loss, even though he had a win recently, which I don't love. But we'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah, we
I don't
will.
know what to do there.
Yeah, there's definitely good call on Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho at Double or Nothing. That definitely seems to be where we're heading. And Adam Cole, I would argue, needs the victory at the pay per view over Jericho. I think Jericho's Teflon. Obviously, he put over Ricky Starks at the last pay per view,
Yeah.
and I think it would be the right move to take an L against
Yeah.
a returning Adam Cole. For the Pillars match, though, there is so much excitement in the Fatal Four Way. I mean, you and I were talking about it on Twitter before they actually put all these pieces together, a month or so ago. There's so much excitement for the match and for us to get to the end point, but I'm just feeling concerned at, okay, we have the Pillars tournament, which is like the quickest tournament I've ever seen. Sammy beat Jungle Boy, which absolutely terrible ending to Dynamite. I don't say that often, but
No, it
MJF
was all
interfering,
bad.
Jungle Boy's counted out, and then MJF and Sammy celebrated in the ring. I was like,
Rolling around in the ring really
I
awkwardly.
was checking the time. Is there something more to this? Are we going to
Yeah.
get? No, that's just how we're ending the show. Okay. I'm not loving how we get there, but I think the match itself is going to rule and is definitely going to be a huge hit with fans. I've been a little taken aback that this week to me felt like a bit of a step back on our journey to the end point.
Yeah, I felt like this wasn't a bad episode. It just wasn't good. It was there. And I just the women's stuff was good. It was like the match was good. It wasn't great. It was good. I'm glad it keeps happening, but I'm so sick of seeing combinations of these people. Like, that's just it. We got 8 women total. And we'll just roll Sky Blue out later on, and like when we run out of people to throw into the mill, it's just there's a huge roster back there. Have Abaddon do something.
Mhm.
The hell is Abaddon?
Mhm.
So there's so many people that it could be. I don't know if Ty is hurt, sick, pregnant. I don't know. I have no idea, but I don't know where she is. Anna Jay at least got to run in. But there's just so many other people that I feel like could be making waves here. Of course, we love all the women involved here: Jamie Hayter, Tony Storm, Britt Baker, Soraya, Ruby. There's a lot of people in this feud, but it's been those people in that feud for weeks, months, it seems now. And I'm just kind of tired of seeing these combinations
Yeah.
of the
Well,
same people.
Yeah, and the outcasts have to be treated pretty delicately as well, because it seems like they're fitting into that kind of classic heel faction trope of, okay, we're badasses and we're gonna spray you with green spray
It's
paint
the NWO, but women.
and attack you from under the ring,
Yeah.
which was kind of a dope shot, I will
Yeah, that
admit.
was a great shot. Yeah.
But to me, it seems like every big match they lose. Like they
Yeah.
even lost this past week, which was no surprise. They're in Britsburg, PA. So
Yeah.
of course Britt and Jamie are going to win, but you lose the big matches. You do the sneak attacks, but you lose the big matches. I think that's part of my trepidation going back to last week's talk with you and I about Swerve versus Keith Lee. For heel factions, I think they just need to have some signature wins. And if they don't, why am I supposed to take them seriously? But like you said, Brad, you have the division anchored by one of the most over talents in wrestling in Jamie Hayter. You also have Jade Cargill just kind of there. Luckily, she has a big match this week against Taya Valkyrie. So like you
Excited
said,
for that.
you have the talent there, and the roster is sneakily has some depth now. I would, like you, also appreciate seeing some new storylines and rivalries develop.
Yeah, who knows what'll happen. I really like this Jade and Taya stuff that's going on in there. And at this point, I know she wasn't there at its inception, but you kind of have to consider Jade is one of the pillars. She's been there since the pandemic. You know, she was there, I think, at the same time as Big Swole. So she's been there for a very long time, because that feels like forever ago. And so not having her up there in that conversation kind of bothers me too, because Jade is so great. She's just so unique, and she's run through everybody. And I'm glad they're treating her now like an attraction, and she should be on our TV every week. But I'm glad she's not wrestling every week, because she's already ran through everybody. So like, what else do you have?
Does she lose to Taya? Does she drop the belt?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think if she drops, it's got to be at a pay-per-view. I know it's the TBS title, but I don't know. Kind of feels like it needs to be a bigger moment. And Jade wasn't on the last pay-per-view. So I feel like that double or nothing. It's, if something happens there, it's got to be somebody different. I was creeping on Instagram today trying to see Chris Statlander's progress. And I know she's working on her knee now, and she's slowly but surely and strengthening and stuff. So I think she's a pretty far way out, but hopefully not. Hopefully I'm wrong. And hopefully she just shows up, and it should be Chris. It's got to be Chris.
Yeah,
Chris,
I mean, it was
Chris the one.
All signs pointed to it being Chris at All Out last year, August. All the momentum was there. She was the one to beat Jade. It's kind of like hoops, right? We were talking NBA earlier. Injuries happen and change NBA playoff series, change booking plans in AEW. You just you can't prepare for some of that. But I agree. I mean, if Chris were available, she is by far the number one choice. She's amazing.
Do you think she's the Joker this year? We have Double or Nothing coming up.
Yes. I don't know who else it would be.
Maybe Thunder Rosa.
Maybe Thunder Rosa. Yeah, I've been seeing her everywhere on the timeline.
Or since training's happening right now, since in-ring work is happening with, I couldn't tell, but it looked like certain AEW Luchasaurus were training with one Trinity Fatu. Maybe Double or Nothing's coming.
I like it.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
I like that a lot.
Please give that to me. Please give that to me. And if she goes in there and just immediately takes the belt from Jade, I'm also okay with that.
Yeah, I mean,
That would be
we haven't seen a lot of that in AEW where a debuting star, instantly gets gold.
Yeah.
Trinity Fatu would be absolutely stellar time
incredible.
to be a first.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about it with Jay White. I don't know what happens with Jay White, but I don't know where this Bullet Club stuff goes. This is one that's not really hitting for me right now either, but I think it will. I think the idea rules, the Bullet Club Gold sounds dope. I just don't know what they're here for, or what their motivation is, what Jay White is in AEW. I don't know what Juice Robinson is other than being rock hard. I don't really know what that means. Is it a double entendre? I don't know really.
I take it as such.
Okay. Well, speaking of rock hard, this transition, Tyler, Christian Cage and Luchasaurus Red showed up to challenge Wardlow and Arn Anderson, I think. I'm not sure. But it's not clear who's actually going to be challenging. Only that they're challenging Wardlow. Who is challenging for the title first? Is it Christian Cage, or is it Christian Cage on behalf of Luchasaurus who will actually be challenging for the title?
Wow. You are brilliant, my guy. I had not even considered that Christian could be a part of this equation in terms of being the guy to face Wardlow. I'm processing this live as we speak. In terms of star power, Christian versus Wardlow definitely makes more sense.
I would love to see that match.
Right. And Luchasaurus is awesome. I think Luchasaurus being on the outside of the ring, playing enforcer / pseudo manager, really more so a heavy, makes more sense than Christian being the manager and Luchasaurus wrestling. Because if Luchasaurus is wrestling for the TNT strap, I just don't see a world in which he wins it. Maybe I'm just not ready to see Luchasaurus by himself with gold.
Yeah.
If Christian's wrestling, I think it provides a lot more validity to the match. And a part of me could think, okay, well, maybe there's a chance Christian wins this.
I would love to see him win it.
I wasn't prepared for your question. I'm going to roll with what I think you're putting down. I'm going to go, maybe it's Christian versus Wardlow at Double or Nothing. I did not foresee that.
I can't think of anybody else to elevate that TNT title back to where it was when Miro had it, outside of Miro. Because Sammy's run with it, his first run with it was really good. And then Cody got it back, and then Sammy got it back, and then the wheels fell off. The Scorpio run was pretty good. His matches were really good, but all the Sammy stuff with Ty when he turned heel, and then all the Dan Lambert stuff, it's just like it took a huge fat dump right around that time. So I think that Christian Cage having that belt for a while, like let him run for 6 months with that thing, him on the mic, and then cheating to win and just concertoing people. I think, yes, let me see this. I think he makes a ton of sense. I think it's good for the network as they approach a new deal, which is coming up here soon. I think their rights deal is up next year. I think elevating everything at the same time as Collision gets announced soon, I'm hoping, and all of these different things are happening. We have Wembley coming up. Christian Cage defending the TNT title at Wembley makes a ton of sense as a draw in a nation that is going to recognize Christian Cage as a name, or at least Christian. There's a lot of things there that I think make a lot of sense. I kind of have a feeling it's going to be Luchasaurus, but maybe Luchasaurus starts it and then Christian Cage challenges after that, and then we get maybe that's the match at Double or Nothing, but we get Luchasaurus Red versus Wardlow before then.
Yeah, and then if that happens, which seems like a promising idea, if that happens, do you just beat Luchasaurus Red, less than a month after he's repackaged? I don't know. Does he squash some people on Dark to get there? With this repackaged version, which looks amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
If he's going to lose,
can't wait for the first headbutt.
Yeah. If he's going to lose instantly to Wardlow, I don't know. Maybe this is why I'm not officially in a booking position. I'm like, I think both guys need a win here. But yeah, that would be awesome, man. If Christian ends up competing for the gold and ends up winning it at some point, like you, I think he could provide some real luster and much needed shine to that championship.
Yeah, Christian had a hell of a run before getting injured.
He did.
I mean, he won the Impact World title from Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega. He was the first belt to fall.
Right. And
That's
he
wild.
and you could argue he's been the
Rampage episode 1.
You could argue absolutely he's been the second best heel in the entire company on the men's side behind MJF.
I don't even know if you could say second best. Like that
Wow, you're putting him up there.
That dude's only getting heat.
Yeah.
MJF's getting cheered for his heat. Christian's just getting heat.
Yeah.
Like that dude's just getting booed. He comes out there and we're like, great, it's Christian, but it's like, this guy is just pure evil. Where MJF is like, this guy's kind of an asshole, but we love watching him be an asshole to people. Yep. So it's a little bit, yeah. So I don't know. Christian might be a better heel than anybody in that company.
Yeah.
And I would love, I don't know how we haven't had a Christian MJF program yet. That still needs to happen because I think that could be just an absolute war on the mic. I think people would be up for that. I would certainly be up for that. I just love Christian. I love that we get to have like a second shot with him. And it's not a swerve. It's not like Jeff Hardy's promo this week, which was, it had me absolute hooked. I'm retiring from screw it up. I'm here. I'm going to end it. I was like, it's a great transition. Great little line there. I'm glad we get to see Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy sort of finish up their careers, and Christian Cage along with them, and probably Chris Jericho all at the same time. They're all around that same mark. Like Sting, Jericho, Christian Cage, all these guys might be just done in the next 2 years or so. We have no idea. And then it's just sort of that chapter is just closed forever. It's so hard for me to like process still that the Undertaker is just done. He's just Mark Calloway now. So to think about these guys and that we get a shot to see them at the end, are they their peak? No. Are there better wrestlers? Yeah. Are there better wrestlers right now in the company that deserve more TV time? Probably. But I'm here for the nostalgia tour as well. We had 4 pillars open up the show. I'm okay if somebody that's been wrestling for 25, 30 years is also on the show. Give me both of those things.
Yeah, that's fair. My takeaway from what you just said is that you are telling me Undertaker is not going to show up for Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia?
He might, but he won't be in costume. He already said he's never putting on the robe or the hat ever again. So if he does, they're going to play the bell and Mark Calloway is going to come out.
That Saudi money, though, Brad, that $2 million check. Okay, I want to believe it. I want to believe you. Undertaker's a legend. I'm good with that.
I mean, he might show up, but I don't think he'll wrestle.
Yeah, not as okay. That's fair. Yeah, that's a great question by you, man. I'm kind of stumped. I went with you with Christian. I would I don't know, repackage Luchasaurus also makes a lot of sense. We'll see. That's one of my favorite questions by you in a long time. That was awesome.
Well, he had, like he went from all black to all red. So it was a weird transition, but I know somebody that was seen red.
I knew it. I knew that's where you were going. I knew it. Accurate statement. Please.
I didn't until I said red. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this.
Luchasaurus Red.
I love that I just started calling him Luchasaurus Red, and that's just what we're calling him now.
That's what we're going to call him.
Like what flavor of Luchasaurus is this? So Luchasaurus Red, Seeing Red, it's promo time. I know this one was a personal one. I'm just going to cue it up.
And now, the promo of the week.
We live in a crazy, beautiful, often scary world. It is time to finally establish rules when working on a group project. Number 1, every group member must have their camera on when in a Zoom meeting together. This is just basic decency. All of us have been on a Zoom at some point over the last 3.5 years. It's simple.
Turn the camera on. Why am I the only one in this meeting, in this group of 4, with my camera on? Why? Number 2, everyone wants a good grade. So during the meeting, when we are close to wrapping up our evaluation project, you have the unmitigated gall to ask us to spend more time reviewing it because you want a good grade, because you want to maintain your 4.0 grade point average. No shit, Sherlock. All of us want a good grade on this. That's why we're here. This isn't undergrad. This is graduate. We are about our business. Rule number 3, no, and I repeat, no Zoom meetings during Suns playoff games. I should not have to miss game 4 for a 2.5-hour Zoom meeting when we just met the previous 2 nights to work on said project. It's important to touch grass sometimes. And finally, rule number 4, do not bring friends into it. Our professor for this course seems like a really cool person. But when you give us the tip, hey, share your writing with a friend or a family member, ask them what they think during your revision process. No, I am not bringing any family or friends into this. They could care less. They may love me. They may support me, but they could give 0 shits about my evaluation proposal. I love my co-host Brad Winchester dearly. If he hit me up on a Saturday and asked me to read his evaluation proposal draft, I am ghosting that man in a heartbeat. Did I mention all of this occurred on a Saturday?
What more needs to be said? It was a brutal week. Group, I'm just going to say this because of the weeks behind me, right? I'm talking with one of my favorite people in the world. I'm excited about this episode we're laying down. It's going to be a much better week. But group projects are the absolute worst.
Yes.
Now I get why students have disliked them for all my 6 years in the classroom. I get it now. I totally get it. Group projects are the current bane of my existence. I loathe them so much, Brad. I can't wait for the end of this class.
Yeah, I imagine. And I'm imagining an end to my class as well, my friend. I know we're commiserating about group work and professors that set up a classroom where it's like assignment, group work, assignment, group work, assignment, group work, 1 unit, 1 unit, 1 unit, assignment, group work. Why is one of those assignments 6 pages? What? Which has happened?
It's nuts. I'm positive that our listeners and viewers have their own group work horror stories. We want to hear them. Please hit us up at GIPod19. What is your experience with group work? Group projects, group assignments. We want to hear it all. If you have horror stories, give it to us. If you are thinking these guys are tripping, I absolutely love group projects. Tell us, convince us, share at GIPod19. We want to hear it all.
Tyler, what did we miss?
I got a few items. I think we covered quite a bit. In terms of anything we missed, we obviously highlighted Adam Cole and Chris Jericho being in the ring for the first time. I actually kind of chuckled when Adam Cole was handcuffed and then Britt Baker was actually viciously attacked by the Outcast.
Mm-hmm.
The soap opera element, the all access element was just turned up to 1,000. So I was certainly uncomfortable watching it, but then also to see Britt Baker and Adam Cole acting just so, I don't know, it was Britt, Austin. Help.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
It was kind of, we love both of them. It was it was something a little different that I don't recall seeing on AEW TV in a while. But Cole and Jericho in the ring for the first time. We know we see a lot of Jericho in Cole in terms of his presentation. So that was pretty neat. Commander is all elite. Shout out to him. We had Sky Blue not too long ago get the graphic. Commander got the graphic as well. Seth Rollins versus Omos has officially been booked for Backlash. That is a match that is going to occur. And the Usos are getting their rematch on SmackDown. So they will be challenging Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I was going to say Kevin Uso. Yikes. And Kevin Owens for tag team gold.
Man, I can't believe we missed the Omos match. It sounds like Seth finding out at home that he's going to be doing that. I don't get it at all. It's just that one reeks of Vince McMahon. It could be just Triple H going, we got to get the enormous monster of a human being on the card somehow. Who's there? Oh, Seth will make this a good match. It's starting to feel a little bit like, who can we put in the ring with Goldberg to make this match look good? And I think Seth was there, and he could wrestle with a dummy and be great. But the other thing I think is Becky Lynch, Drew McIntyre, other stars absolutely blacking out their accounts on social media. And I'm not sure what any of it means. I know several contracts are coming up. Drew's contract is up, and I don't know what Becky's is. I would assume it's next year, but I have no idea when Becky's is up. A lot of people blacking their stuff out. Bailey's doing the Bailey Martinez thing, which says to me that that one feels like I don't think Bailey's going anywhere, but you never know. She really is real life, really close friends with Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné. So who knows? Who knows? I'll tell you what I do know. I'm here for it. I'm loving this stuff. I just love watching what's happening. I think it's great. I think it's good television. The social stuff makes the television stuff a little bit better, even if we are getting Omos versus Seth Rollins.
Yeah. 2 final points I have. Well said. We love pro wrestling so much. Shout out, big ups to Steve Macklin and his wifey, Deanna Perrazzo. They are holding Impact Gold. I sent you, I think it was a Facebook post, not even a tweet, that said wrestling has more than one royal family, and it had both of them with their titles. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the hardest pick I've seen all week. And then secondly, you found an absolute gem this week, Brad, on kind of a different note. Will Ospreay posted a video to social, I think it was specifically to Twitter, where he was discussing, or kind of, I would even use the verb contemplating, his next step. He said he's been banged up, had a lot of injuries over the last few years, and he is considering altering his in-ring style. It was really humbling to hear a superstar, a superhero who we see on TV, actually speak about getting older, and it was just fascinating to see his humanity there. What did you think?
I thought it was great because Will's been pretty open with his mental health and all this other stuff. So to hear him talk about his physical health and how it's playing on all of the other things, and just having to change his style, I think is really exciting. We know that Jeff Hardy, for example, maybe a decade ago or less than that, had to start taking the Swanton differently because he was landing in a way to protect the wrestlers before, which was destroying his body. And now it's just like, sorry, buddy, you're taking the entire force of my body on top of you. And now he just crushes dudes with it, but it's better for him in long term. So Will's going to have to figure out a way to slow it down, maybe not do as many high risk maneuvers, because we've seen him do it. And I think that's great. If he can adapt his style a little bit there, keep what makes him Will Ospreay, but change it up so that he can be just more physical, very, very Rocky-esque. And when he has to come back in Rocky Balboa and learn how to fight differently and get all taped up differently and go, you're going for power now. You can't move like you used to. Will Ospreay having to change up his style completely, maybe coming up with a new move set. Can't wait for that. It's the Taya Valkyrie thing is exciting because she can't use her, whatever it's called. I don't remember what hers is called. But it's the jaded. She's not allowed to use that. Road to Valhalla. Yeah, right.
You got it. Yep. Yeah, I got you.
I know it's some Viking thing.
It's on the tip of the tongue.
Yeah. Yes. Maybe she comes up with a new move set because you don't want to repeat things. I also thought that, like, Jay White going to WWE, does he use the Blade Runner, since that's just a Sister Abigail going fast. So there's lots of things there, but I just hope he's okay and that he's happy and healthy and we get to see him as much as possible, because for people that haven't seen any of his matches, because he's not on WWE and occasionally on AEW, but rarely, man, you got to go find Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega from this year. It is just one of the best matches I've ever seen, if not the best match I've ever seen, like while it was happening.
And we might be getting part 2 later this year.
I hope so.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, it wouldn't be GI if we didn't close with some plugs. As you may have heard, we have a website, gimmickinfringementpod.com. You can check out all of our links there, including many articles about pro wrestling, about sports, about teaching, about mental health, and so much more. You can follow the pod on Twitter, as you know, at GIPod19. You can also follow Brad at WinDuster, and you can follow me at Tyler J. McDowell. If you are hearing and or seeing this right now, you made it to the end. Thank you so much. Seriously, every single listen, watch, like, retweet, text, everything means the world to Brad and I. We hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you didn't, don't tell nobody. We're wishing you a week full of joy, good health, great wrestling, and no group work. We love you all. We'll see you next time. Gimmick Infringement is a part of 19 Media Group. You can listen to us on Good Pods, our premier partners, and Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube via the 19 Media Group channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.